This summer, the Transformers are gracing our screens for the 5th time. Some might say that's 4 times too many. Yes, Michael Bay's Autobots are rolling out once again in The Last Knight, which is set to turn the franchise on its head by delving into the secret history of the Transformers. That, at least, is the reason they've given for the presence of King Arthur, the Nazis, and Mark Wahlberg holding a big off sword in a robot action movie. Michael Bay, you've clearly outdone yourself. If you like what we do here at GameSpot Universe, make sure to subscribe as we've got some great content coming up, including the return of GameSpot of Thrones. Lucy, Tam and I will be digging into the latest episodes with our thoughts, comments and theories. And you can catch it every Monday right here on GameSpot Universe. Right, time to get back to the Bayhem. Here are 5 things that you need to know about The Last Knight.
The Transformers films have rightly come under a lot of flack for veering further and further away from their animated source material.
I am directly below the enemy scrotum.
But for all the talk of King Arthur, Nazi Germany and Mark Wahlberg's hair, The Last Knight is actually taking a lot of cues from the original 80s cartoon series. 2014's Age of Extinction saw Optimus Prime head off in search of the Transformers creators, and he found them in the form of the Last Knight's big bad, Quintessa. While Quintessa isn't a character from the cartoons per se, it is the home planet of the Quintessons, the almighty race of merciless 5-faced cybernetic beings that create the Autobots and the Decepticons. Yeah, we are knee-deep in Transformers mythology here, but stick with us. So the Quintessons built the Transformers way back as their slaves, before the latter developed emotions and started fighting back. Anyways, Quintessa in The Last Knight is clearly behind turning Optimus Prime to the dark side, which is exactly what the Quintessons do to Prime in the 1986 episode Dark Awakening. And so goes our layman's look at the mythology of the Transformers cartoons.
You may think the appearance of swordsmen and knights in the Transformers movie may be a little bit far-fetched, and yes, I realize I'm using far-fetched to describe a movie franchise with giant robot testicles in it, but bear with me. But the world of King Arthur, or at least the nebulous medieval period depicted in King Arthur lore, has been featured in Transformers mythos before. In the episode of the cartoon, a Decepticon raider in King Arthur's court, Starscream and co discover a time cave that sends them back to the age of chivalry and chivalry. Once there, the merry gang of Decepticons do all the usual things you'd expect them to. Team up with a mustachioed bad guy, steal a castle, abduct a princess, and of course, make gunpowder out of bird poo. The reasoning behind having the Transformers and the Round Table meet in The Last Knight isn't quite clear, only that the key to saving Cybertron is buried in the past. But if it means we get to see Sir Anthony Hopkins in a movie about giant fighting robots, then I'm gonna allow it.
Introductions. Mr. Vivian Wembley, Master of History, Oxford, Doctor of Philosophy, also Oxford, and Doctor of Letters, again Oxford, I think. Anything else? Anyway, meet Cade.
Yeager. Cade Yeager.
It pains us that we have to be the ones to deliver this news to you, but this will be the last Transformers movie Mark Wahlberg will be in.
What? No!
Marky Mark revealed the news on the Graham Norton show, and coupled with the fact that Michael Bay isn't returning for Transformers 6, it means that Paramount will now have to look for a whole new director and star combo for the series. But then again, who really cares about all the human characters in a Transformers film? We're all here for the hot robot-on-robot action. Giggity. The humans are usually just underwritten plot padding. Need an example? They named the British girl in The Last Knight Vivian Wembley. The writers must have had some time coming up with that name.
Alright, what are we gonna name this British character?
Tarquin Monocle.
Too formal.
Jane Crumpet.
Sounds like a delicious porn star.
Vivian Wembley.
Bingo. So while the robots might not be real, the locations definitely are, and it sounds like Michael Bay went that extra mile to find the real deal locations to shoot in. Transformers: The Last Knight actually holds the accolade for being the first movie ever to be shot on the real 10 Downing Street ever since they allowed shooting there in late 2016. And it wouldn't be a far cry to see Megatron taking up residence there, as the place is already used to housing one evil robot at this point. Bay also filmed various shots at the legit Stonehenge, planning to shoot what sounds like quite an action-packed scene, but wasn't able to blow up the iconic monument because of, you know, history and shit. There was also some backlash into turning Blenheim Palace into a mock-up of Hitler's British HQ for the Nazi arc in the Transformers story. This was actually the birthplace to our wartime Prime Minister Winston Churchill, and I can only imagine the reaction he'd have to seeing the place draped with Nazi flags.
So you talk through the radio?
Actually, you do. You're wonderful. You're wonderful.
Love them or hate them, the Transformers movies are here to stay, as according to Michael Bay, there's 14 of these motherfuckers in production. That is way too many Transformers movies. After having set up a writer's room for the franchise following the disastrous critical fallout of Age of Extinction, it appears Paramount have now doubled down on turning Transformers into a cinematic universe. Although having 14 more Transformers films is the most compelling proof that we're clearly living in the darkest timeline, it also happens to be a logical step for the series. So far, there are plans for a sequel dated for June 2019, and more interestingly, a Bumblebee spin-off slated to launch in June 2018. Beyond that, it's anyone's guess. But Bay, at the very least, has said he's done with directing the giant robots. But take that with a massive pinch of salt though, as he said the same thing after Transformers Dark of the Moon.
I've thought a lot about robots, and it's like it's time to try something different.
Thanks for watching our fun facts all about Transformers. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe for more hot content. And remember, GameSpot of Thrones will be returning every Monday on GameSpot Universe.
Yay!
We got some comments from last week's video all about the mammy.
Yep. First comment comes from Langley M. Neely on YouTube. Very catchy name there, Langley. Why does Prodigium sound like an STD drug or an ointment? Ask your doctor today if Prodigium is right for you.
I think I have some of that.
Kind of right, yeah. I might need some Prodigium. I've got some stuff going on.
Do you want to talk about that?
I've got a mummy in my pants. No, wait.
We'll consult later. We'll go see a doctor. King of Mad Cows says, Penny Dreadful did this idea so much better. Too bad it was cancelled.
I don't even watch that, so I don't know what he's referring to. And then Twin B says, no one can beat Marvel in terms of the MCU. Why? Question mark. Because they have Kevin, the Lord of Nerds, the God of Nerds, Feige.
How did you refer to Kevin Feige before? The guy who's what?
Keeping that shit.
He's been running it for...
running that thing for time, fam.
Thank you so much for watching this episode of Screenplay. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
Goodbye.